Hey y'all, Valve announced a brand new Steam machine to launch in 2026, and the moment I saw it, I knew I had to try to make my own. I've already created and shared the original Steam machine from 2013, and that was a fun-ass project. But the new Steam machine is giving me different vibes. The original Steam machine had fairly standard components, and the new version has pretty specialized hardware, and you really can't just buy the parts off the shelf. But that's what gives the new one an awesome form factor and look. I couldn't get everything exact because the hardware I'm using is obviously different, but it's pretty cool that I was able to install SteamOS to get a feel of the actual software. I hope that Valve continues to make the SteamOS so easily installed on systems using AMD, because for the most part, being able to use a dedicated gaming OS feels so much better than dealing with the bloat of other operating systems. This is my first time installing SteamOS, but it won't be my last. Let me know what you think of SteamOS, and if you found this video worthwhile, give it a like. If you want to build one of these, I'll be sharing the files to anyone who has an SAT score higher than 400 points. You'll see the link in the description. 180 by 180 printers are welcome. You'll need 600 grams of heat-resistant filament, don't even think about using PLA, and 12 hours of print time. Speaking of filament, I used a new roll of PETG with carbon fiber, and I thought 4 hours of drying time was enough, but it took over 12 hours of drying to get things decent. You'll notice I didn't reprint some of the wet, ugly parts, so my apologies. The tools and materials I used for this project will be linked down below. If you use those links to buy stuff, it helps out this channel at no cost to you, so thanks. The screwdriver, screws, magnets, and glue are commonly used in all my 3D printing projects, so they're good to have around either way. I usually use heat inserts in my projects, but this build was so simple and the weight distribution didn't really call for them. To be honest, the rear slim 120mm case fan and the huge heatsink are optional. The X300W with the AMD 5700G will do just fine with just the front slim 120 and the stock heatsink. I mainly just use them for the look that the real Steam machine has with this huge heatsink. One thing is for sure though, having this huge heatsink means I don't hear the system fans over the haptic feedback from my Steam controllers. Because I'm not using heat inserts, don't expect these screw holes to stay tight. I just use glue to keep the feet on. You can print them in softer TPU if you want more grip. I don't think it's needed though. If you want to know how to take apart the Asrock X300W kit, I'll post a link of it so you can watch after this video. I made the Wi-Fi antenna mounts adjustable because I don't actually remember how long the stock Wi-Fi antennas are that came with the X300W kit, so you can glue them at whatever height you need. But to be honest, having your gaming PC hooked up to a LAN cable is always best anyway, especially if you're going to use remote software like I'll show later on. These magnets are press fit in, but if yours are loose, just use some glue. And make sure you always orient the magnets so they attract each other. I'm reusing most of the hardware that came with the X300W kit. And here I'm relocating the power LED into a new tight hole. The Steam Machine has a really cool programmable light bar, but unfortunately my attempt to replicate it fell short. This part will be optional, but if you can find a 150mm light strip with addressable LEDs, it will look a lot better. Even better if you can find one that has an internal USB ARGB controller. I ended up with LEDs that were too spaced apart, and it resulted in hotspots that don't look really good. But it's a quick little replica, so I'm not going to cry over it anymore. This light bar cover stays on with friction. But if yours is loose, just use some glue at the corners. And just as another reminder, make sure the magnet's polarity is correct by testing them before pressing them in. With everything assembled and built, you can now enjoy your Steam Machine replica. Now, I know that my unit isn't as fast, as small, or as good looking as the real Steam Machine, but that was always going to be the case. Nothing can beat the original that Valve worked really hard to produce. And being honest, I don't think the Steam Machine is really meant for me anyway. Cause I already have more than one high-end gaming PC, so being able to game on my TV is already possible. I've already tried living room gaming with the old Steam Link, and I still found myself stand-up gaming in my garage rather than sit-down gaming in the living room. But in a pinch, remote play has always come in clutch. Here, I'm playing Cyberpunk in 4K with extreme settings, using remote play in the comfort of my couch. All the while, my main PC is in the garage doing all the hard work. So for me, the Steam Machine will only serve as a collectible of sorts, but for someone who wants to get into PC gaming for the first time, or wants to get back into it from a hiatus, the new Steam Machine should be a great option. And for those wondering, you can play easy anti-cheat games on SteamOS by installing Moonlight in desktop mode. It still means you need a second powerful PC, but again, for couch gaming, this can be done. But all in all, even though I'm not the target market for the new Steam Machine, I'll be happy with my little replica. And I might still buy it anyway since I love small PCs. Let me know in the comments if you're going to buy the new Steam Machine.